Polls had Dutton ahead a few months ago, as we know, but it's steadily come down since then. What would you put that down to?
Well, look, it's only four weeks ago that people were actively considering the possibility of a coalition minority government. So you've got to give them credit to that extent. But, you know, the coalition have had some stumbles in the last couple of weeks. There's been some missteps. There's been some policy backwards and forth. There's been some, you know, balloons that have been floated up to see the reaction. It hasn't been a very disciplined couple of weeks, apart from last week where we saw some of the messaging starting to land on the government and their own messaging about what they have to offer. But by and large, it's been a pretty messy month. So it was fully expected that we would see that retracement in
Andrew, can you take... Sorry, mate. Can you just take us behind the scenes? And for our viewers who might not know, you know, what's going on and, you know, how do you help those contenders stay so sharp?
Well, everything rises and falls on your key message. You wake up every morning, you go through the polling for that day, and you very much sit down and go, okay, what is our key message for today? What is the one quote that we want to see in the papers the next day? What is the one grab that we want to see on the 6 p.m. news? And everything is built around that strategy. So you win the images, you win the day. You win the messaging, your vote goes up. Every day that you are off that message is a day that you are losing votes. So leaders try and protect that message at all avenues, and that protecting it from loose comments on FM radio or going too zealous on another issue. They have to quarantine themselves from those major kind of sidetrack moments and concentrate on delivering that one message.
Okay, yeah, you mentioned some slips from the coalition recently. There was one from the Prime Minister yesterday about teaming up with the Greens. Let's just run this.
That I rule out, just to be really clear again, if you ask me, do you rule out governing in coalition with the Greens? The answer to that is no. No. Is no. I don't negotiate with the Greens.
All right, so that's pretty small beer when compared to the bigger mistake on the cash rate that he made last time. But it's just an example. So how difficult is it to stay so sharp when you've got the glare of the cameras on you all of the time?
Yeah, and I think this one particularly is a funny one too, because it kind of confirms what the suspicion that people have of Anthony Albanese. They know that he's probably going into minority government if he does win. So the Australian people know that he will have to do a deal with the crossbench to ensure that happens. So It just confirms that, you know, the suspicion that people have, similar to the last campaign where he stuffed up the cash rate. It confirmed in people that they didn't really trust him on the economy, and that proved to be correct.
I think you make a good point, and we'll have to close here because I'm out of time. You make a good point on FM radio because, yes, there are the tough interviews, but then there's the lighter ones. And, you know, Peter Dutton's come in for some stick yesterday about preferring Kirribilli over the Lodge. But I remember that one from Bill Shorten a few years back when I think he couldn't remember how long it took to charge an electric car. I mean, can FM radio backfire with those soft touch interviews?
Oh, it certainly can, particularly in this day and age, particularly in a 24-hour media cycle. I mean, you just have to know which deliveries to hit over the fence and which ones to block back to the keeper. Knowing that, you know, if you go a little bit too far in some aspects, you'll get yourself in trouble, and that will dominate the day.
Yeah. Do you ever get nervous when you're watching those interviews off camera when you had Scott to look after? Any hand and head moments? That you'd be willing to share, I should say.
There's certainly a lot of communication that happens with the eyes in those moments. You know, I used to stand directly behind the main camera, and I'd be communicating with Scott all the way through. So they're very, very tense moments because there's so much at stake, and you know that's what Peter Dutton's quickly realising this week. He's finding his feet pretty well, I think, and but they're big moments.
All right, I've gone over time, but I found that really interesting, Andrew. Thank you so much, and we'll get you back on throughout the course of the campaign and check in, see how you think people are going. We'll talk to you soon.